Hello. Thank you once again for joining us for our devotional thought. Today I am looking at John chapter 15 and verse 1. But before we read the verse, I am going to read a quotation here by James Hudson Taylor. So this quote is by James Hudson Taylor, and it reads, "Many Christians estimate difficulties in the light of their own resources, and thus attempt little and often fail in the little they attempt. All God's giants have been weak men who did great things for God because they reckoned on His power and presence with them." So James Hudson Taylor here is telling us here that most of the times as Christians, we look at problems and we look at them from a perspective of what we have as our resources. You know, it's like having a BB gun or having a tank. So you know that if you have a BB gun, you can only hunt birds if you are a hunter. And if you have a tank, then that means that's a military, that's something that you use to destroy buildings, for example. I don't even know why I chose that, but that's still a good illustration. Yeah, so if you have a teaspoon, you know that you can use it for, possibly for measuring in your kitchen or using it for your tea. Or if you have a tablespoon, you use it for your main course. That's right. So it's just like that. So we look at situations and consider them from the point of what we have as our resources. But God, according to Hudson Taylor, has always had giants. And those giants were able to do great things, not because they focused on the resources they had at the moment, but because they focused on the resources they had in God. A good example of that is David. Remember when David had to face Goliath? He told Goliath that he was coming to him in the name of the Lord. So maybe now it might be a good time for me to pause a question before you hear. What kind of challenges do you have in your life? And what kind of resources do you have to face that challenge? John chapter 15 verse 1 tells us here, Jesus is talking, he says, "I am the true vine and my Father is the vine dresser." So Jesus is basically telling us here that He is the vine. You know that if you continue to read the chapter, He tells us that we are the branches. And for us to be successful as a branch, we have to keep intact, to stay intact with Jesus. The moment you are cut off of Jesus, then you will be destined for death. That's right, you'll be self-destructive. So we need to realize here that our true source of power is God. Our true source of resources is Jesus. Our true source of everything that we can ever need in this life is Jesus. So I'm hoping that you'll be encouraged and continue to stay in tune with Jesus, your true source of power. Be blessed.